Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Max. Today I'm going to be teaching you everything about tools that I personally know. So, to insert a tool into your game, you just have to press this plus icon on the workspace. After you press that, you have to find the tool object. So if you want, you can just search it up as tool, and when you find that, it should be just a wrench. And right, so appearance. This is the grip. This is how it's going to be held. I don't usually use this because it's a bit complicated and it takes a while to actually get it perfect. So I don't recommend using this. There's so many methods I know about this, and by so many I mean two. Tooltip. This is basically what the player will see if they hover their mouse over the tool in their inventory. So for example, I'll put this. This is a tooltip. So when I have a tool, I'm gonna be able to see that when I hover my mouse over it. So name. This is going to be what the player will be seeing if the tool is in their inventory. So I guess we could just put like ball, because I guess I'm gonna use this. So this is not gonna be used right now, but I'm gonna show you why I will use this in a little bit. Next up is the parent. Nothing too special about this. This is really just what's the parent, because say like this is inside of the base plate, the parent would instead be base plate, right? Texture ID. So texture ID, I've already like talked about this on my channel. I've made a tutorial about this, link in the description. Texture ID is basically like instead of a name so when the player has the tool in the inventory, instead of seeing a name, they would see the image. So that's why it's called texture ID. So I guess we could just duplicate this, and then I can put this in here. So when making a tool, you have to make sure it's called a handle, or the part that will be held has to be called a handle. Be aware that when making a tool, make sure all of the parts are anchored. So texture ID, I'm gonna put something like, okay, I'm gonna use an image that is from my computer. So I have chosen an image or a file. So then all I have to do is press create. Then it should work now. Okay, so we're just gonna make this a bit smaller. And instead of having this be a ball, I'm actually gonna make us like a tool that looks a bit different, not like just a simple shape. So like, I don't know, let's make a gun, because people seem to like those, making shooter games, stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a big gun. Well, never mind, it's not really gonna be that big. Okay, so this for example is gonna be our gun. So what we can do is make sure that these two are not like inside of each other, basically. Gotta make sure these are also like connected quite well. Okay, well, whatever, that doesn't really matter the way it looks like right there. So what you can do, there's two ways to do this. You can either union this, which would then make it like one single part, or you can go into the model tab and then weld them all. So you would have to press this and then select the weld option. So then they would both be welded. So you have to know what part of this is the front surface. So this is the front. That's basically how it's gonna be held, or where it's gonna be held. And you can just put this right here inside of the gun that I just made here. You can put this in whatever item you have or tool, and then just set the transparency to 0. Well, actually set the transparency to, and then you just set the transparency to 1, and then it's invisible. The other method, which I just mentioned, is to just is to just union them, which is Control Shift and then G. So then after making this a union, you can get this plugin called Tool Grip Editor. It will be linked in the description. But here's the problem. Recently I found out that this plugin actually costs Robux. So if you don't have the Robux for this, I don't recommend actually getting it. So it has to be called Handle, and then it has to be inside of a tool. So then you just select the tool or the handle, and then you just press on Edit Tool Grip, and then right here you can move the hand on however you want it to be holding the tool grip, the tool. So you can also use this plugin even when you don't actually have the handle thing right here. So yeah, that's pretty nifty for a plugin. It makes everything a lot more simple. You have to name this handle, by the way. I kind of forgot to mention that. You have to name that handle, and then make sure that they're all welded. Then after that, you just put them all in a tool. There we go. So these two have been set up. We don't need this, so we're gonna get rid of it. So enabled, that means that if it's not enabled, it can't be usable. Can be dropped. This is so basically, if this is set to false, the tool cannot be dropped. If it's set to true, the tool can in fact be dropped. And like I said, make sure these are not anchored. Also, if you have just one part that you want to use as your tool, you can just do the handle method I mentioned, or you can just name the tool, or you can just name the part handle, and then you can do whatever you want. You can use the plugin and everything. Right, so I am in. As you can see, I picked it up. So this is the one that I used for the handle option. As you can see right here, it says this is a tooltip, and right here it says the name gun. But this instead is actually going to have a different grip because I used the plugin, and it's gonna have an icon right here, or a texture, which I put right there using the texture ID. So yeah, that's actually pretty much for today's tutorial. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments, and I'll try to reply as soon as I possibly can. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.